The new Star Trek Online story update, Heart of the Matter, is now live on PC. So let's go over everything that is launching today. Star Trek Online's new story update is live as of today on PC. I'm not going to go super into detail just because I don't want to get too far into spoilers or anything like that, because I don't want to ruin the new episode for any of you who might be watching it. And also, I haven't played it yet, so I don't want to get too deep into it as well. But we know there's going to be they're calling it a new mini episode for this one called All That Matter. It's interesting that they're doing a mini episode instead of like a full length episode. I'm guessing this is just a symptom of how things have been going with Deca lately. You know, we're still very much in a transitionary period for the game. A lot of the devs are still trying to figure out, a lot of the inner workings of the engine. And plus, they did just dump a whole bunch of effort into the anniversary event episode, which, that was a big thing as well. So I imagine they, going from that, they wanted to kind of do a smaller scale episode before really going full stride with the story from now on. So yeah, for now, we're just getting a mini episode, and we're also getting a new TFO called the Devil's Heart. This TFO will pit you against the Control Borg and an alternate dimension version of the Dyson Sphere. So it's going to be a new... Oh, it's actually a ground TFO. I was immediately about to say, oh, it's probably a new space TFO. Nope, it's a ground TFO. Get ready to fight the Control Borg on the ground in the alternate Dyson Sphere. I imagine it's going to be kind of similar to that episode. What was it? The other one where you go to the alternate reality Dyson Sphere and fight the Control Borg, and then Sela shows up and all that. I imagine it's gonna be something similar to that kind of setup, which is interesting because that was a fun episode. Of course, I probably shouldn't be speculating too much given that I have not played the new TFO yet. So I'll just let you guys go off and play it on your own. I imagine more of you are going to be more interested in doing that than hearing me talk about it. As Star Trek Online often does, there's also an event that is going live along with this new episode release, and this is going to be the Heart of the Matter event, and this is going to reward a new set bonus set for anti-proton builds. They're calling it the Kita's Boon Space Set. It'll be available for all characters on your account once you've completed the event. The Kita's Boon set focuses on subsystem power level manipulation, which means draining your enemy's power levels, thus weakening them and gaining that power for yourself. You gain the ability to heal your ship's hull with drain abilities, and equipping the full Kita's Boon set grants you the Devil's Kiss power. This lets you drain nearby enemy subsystem levels while also adding them to your own, overcharging your ship with excess power. That excess power gets released after a short time, resulting in a massive explosion around your ship. That's kind of interesting, but with anything to do with buffing your own power levels, unless this stacks with isomags, then this is going to be worthless. Here we have the actual tooltip of the set bonus here. Devil's Kiss, PBAOE, subsystem power drain with anti-proton damage and a delayed explosion. So it'll deal anti-proton damage. So it's still leaning into the anti-proton damage setup here, which is interesting. It's been a while since we've gotten anything interesting from for anti-proton. Last time was the Bowl set bonus that's available in the Low Buy store, which I am a huge fan of. The set consists of an anti-proton beam array. It'll have, this is an not upgraded version of the beam array, so the actual damage isn't going to be all that telling. But an interesting note, it has no weapon power cost to fire. That's kind of interesting. So that means you're not going to be draining any of your weapon power to fire this specific weapon. Obviously, all your other weapons will too. They'll do that as well because they don't have this special ability. But that is interesting. I am curious to see how well that affects performance. The next piece is Kita's Portal Transphasic Torpedo Launcher. Pierces 40% of your enemy's shields, which is why transphasic torpedoes suck. It's so easy to bring down shields already, and they sacrifice that damage to get that shield penetration. So I'm already not thrilled that this is a transphasic torpedo, and has a chance to grant you Torpedo Transport Warhead 3, letting you teleport your torpedo directly inside your enemy starship, dealing devastating damage and possibly knocking one of their systems off. So it's just a torpedo that has a chance to trigger Transport Warhead 3. Just use Transport Warhead 3 with a torpedo that's actually good. That's a bit disappointing because I know people have been. Recently I've been seeing a lot of people calling for a 360 degree torpedo I'd imagine this was kind of leaning into that thinking, but this isn't. No, this is not good. For one, it only gives you a 20% chance to trigger that, and 20% is not a lot, especially on a torpedo, given that it has a 10-second recharge time. That's not going to trigger very often, so that's just not a good effect. And the last piece is a console called Kita's Promise. Kita's Promise grants you increasing control over your ship's power flow, bonus to anti-proton damage, and a consistent increase to all subsystem power levels. This even upgraded. These are actually some pretty decent buffs for a console, plus 46.6% anti-proton damage, which that'll get higher once you upgrade the thing. Plus 5% to current and maximum. Or plus 5 to current and maximum subsystem power. Again, that's really only going to matter if this stacks with isomags. If it doesn't, that's going to be really disappointing. Plus 70% to power transfer rate. That's kind of interesting. And minus 15% to weapon power cost. That's also really interesting for an energy weapon build. So the console I'm pretty impressed with. Even if this doesn't stack with isomags, the other stats here are actually pretty nice. So I am actually pretty pleased with that. So the beam sounds interesting, like it has some promise. The torpedo sounds like crap, and the console is definitely the most interesting piece of the set for an anti-proton build. Did they give him any information on the 2-piece bonus? Because we went over Devil's Kiss, but what does Regenerative Drain Amplifier do? Maybe that's just the first part of this set. So I'm guessing the Regenerative Amplifier, maybe that just gives you you gain the ability to heal your ship with drain abilities, which that's also not a particularly impressive ability, because if you're using drain abilities, that means you're going to be sacrificing unconventional systems triggers. And I know there are plenty of you who are rolling your eyes right now. I don't care. Okay, you can see the set bonuses in the game, even if you don't have the reward set yet. You can see it in the reward info. And yeah, I'm right. It's just drain abilities will allow you to heal your starship's hull. That's lame. I don't like that. So the 3-piece bonus is kind of interesting. The beam array does show promise, but we'll see how that ends up. I'm still worried that just a normal anti-proton or normal Baul anti-proton with the refractions will still do better than that, but we'll see. I'm not thrilled that this is a transphasic torpedo, because again, transphasic torpedoes suck because they're all about shield penetration, and shield penetration is because it's so easy to tear down shields, so what's the point? And yeah, the console was also really interesting too, because it just gives really nice buffs to anti-proton damage and other benefits to energy weapon builds. I'm really hopeful that that'll stack with isomags, but if it doesn't, that's going to be disappointing, but not a huge deal given the other benefits that Kita's Promise is giving you. And console players, don't forget, these should be going live for you on July 29th. Before wrapping up, we've got some other bits of small news as well. First off, we got patch notes for today's patch on PC, which include the obvious stuff, the new event going live with the new episode and the new TFO. We also know that the Promellian Battlecruiser is going live, and the Endeavor system update goes live today. We went over these two things yesterday, but there are a couple of other things included in this one. First off, they fixed the issue with the legendary Akira multi-mission command cruiser that was preventing it from using dual cannons, so they should now be able to use dual cannons. And actually, let's check that right now. Okay, here we go. This is the legendary Akira. The name is still incorrect, but can it equip dual cannons? Yes, it can. Okay, so the bug is fixed, but the name is still incorrect, which, I mean, we kind of figured that was going to be the case. There was nothing in the patch notes saying that the names have been corrected. That's probably going to be a longer issue just because of how many names have been messed up because of that database bug. Yeah, the ship can now equip dual cannons like it should, so that's a good thing. And with this patch, they've also resolved an issue where certain characters couldn't be logged onto the screen. The loading screen would freeze up at 40% and never finish, which I hadn't even heard about that bug. So it's nice to hear that's been resolved too. So if you've been suffering from that bug, that should be fixed with today's patch. There's also a couple of sales going on right now on both platforms. For PC, we've got a 15% off on keys sale going on right now. So not only can you get keys for 15% off in the Zen store, but the keyring bundles are also available in the store again. These will be live until June 3rd, which is today, until June 8th. So you've got a few days to take advantage of that if you are wanting to get that. Remember, with the keyring bundles, you also get a free ultimate tech upgrade included with those, which can be kind of nice. And over on console, you guys have got a 35% off sale on all legendary items. So if you've been wanting to pick up the 10th anniversary bundle or any of the other bundles available in Star Trek Online, now is a good time to grab them because they are 35% off. This is as low as those sales go. So this is a good chance to grab that. It's going to be live again from June 3rd, which is today, until June 8th. So that is it for today. New episode, new TFO, and a key sale live over here on PC. And console players, you guys have a 35% off on all legendary bundles. So, oh, never mind. Apparently there's one more thing to talk about, because apparently the Ranger class in Star Trek Online got a remaster with this patch as well. I didn't even know that this had gone live today. This wasn't in the patch notes. Though we kind of suspected that something was up with the Ranger, because fairly recently the Ranger class got access to some hull materials it didn't normally have access to over on console. That got leaked over there. And I'm guessing this is an indication as to why the Ranger has received a full remaster. This is rather interesting because, frankly, the Ranger class is a fairly obscure Star Trek Online original ship. I mean, this was released way back in when the Agents of Yesteryear update went live back in like 2016. So it's a little random that this is getting an update, but maybe it's a sign of things to come. So yeah, here's a picture of the ship itself. It's getting a whole revamped hull material on here. Some definitely the biggest change you can see here is definitely around the torpedo pod here. It definitely looks a lot more original series-esque. I really like that. This is a really cool change. Apparently the model was done by Ramon Matas, who is one of the newer folks on the 3D art team over at Deca. So Ramon, good job. This is a really nice looking ship. Here's another shot of it. Thomas goes on to say here, I think there's a misconception that TOS era ships must be low detail and super simple shapes. But when you look closely at the original Enterprise, you see a lot of hidden elegance in the mid-century modern touches. I asked Ramon to look at 60s cars and aircraft to get inspiration for the Ranger update. And you can see that, ooh, I like this extra detail around the impulse engines, because before they were just like, this was just like a straight up tube with some orange glows at the back. So I'm glad to see this all getting some nice touch-ups too. This is a nice amount of detail, and yeah, it's nice and subtle, which is exactly what you'd expect out of a TOS era ship. And this is really cool. I've never been like a huge fan of the Ranger, but this is definitely like upping its game, and I'm curious to see what this leads to, because it's not every day Star Trek Online revamps just like a random ship out of its old catalog. Because I mean, they've been going back to remastering old ships before, but they've always been like, you know, part of like the core level up ships, you know, something that's linked to a specific group of other ships in their skeleton, you know, like the Pasteur or the Nova class, stuff like that. They've gone back, but it's kind of weird that the Ranger is getting an update. So again, I'm kind of wondering if this is a sign of things to come in the future. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I feel like I've rambled on long enough, so I'm going to get this edited and uploaded so I can go play the new episode. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. If you'd like to further support the channel, hit the join button to become a member, to get various channel perks. Check out the merch store, check out the affiliate links. If you're ever shopping on the Epic Game Store, be sure to use my content creator code STU1701. Any of these things really help me out, and I really do appreciate it. Either way though, thank you so much for watching. My name's Stu, and I will see you guys next time.